Usually, before I go shaking my tits for the press, I like to go see how the professionals do it. Some might say the chief of police has no business in an institution like this, but in fact it's the quietest and safest place in town. You won't run into any reporters, nobody gets into any fights, nobody drinks too much, nobody even raises their voice. The place is owned by an elderly gentleman who knows how to keep things under control. That's why I never invite my friends here. I wanted to make an exception for my 60th birthday, but most of my colleagues are young enough to be my sons, and they'd rather just hire prostitutes. Why stare at some boobs when you can take the whole package for yourself? But there's none of that in our club. Even looking too long is considered indecent. You can get an occasional glimpse, like by accident. The rest of the time you just pretend that you're immersed in conversation, or just come by for a drink. Doesn't mean these gentlemen wouldn't want their bald heads smothered in tits. It's just that nobody says it out loud. My younger colleagues might call it hypocrisy, but I call it the good old-fashioned manners. Good manners and leave the rest unsaid. She agrees to unbutton her blouse, and we agree not to pay too much attention. The girls are on a quiet prowl, too. They're looking for a way out of their cramped rooms. Maybe make friends with some wealthy patron with a pacemaker and dentures. Everybody wants something. But we have to control ourselves, or we'll all turn into libertines and prostitutes. Hell, if there weren't any rules, I'd be belching and farting, jumping up on the table, arms held high, yelling, "Shake it, baby!" No idea how I got so barbaric.
Welcome everybody, my name is Blade0787. This game is called This Is the Police, as you can see in the top right hand corner. A good mate of mine, very good mate of mine, obviously gave me this game. His name is 145 Gaming. Kind of a weird Octagon-y style game, as you can see from what I've seen of this. Obviously you're in a control room controlling the police, going to certain accidents, misdemeanors, assaults, murders, stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the game. I have played it a little bit when I first got it. So we're going to go new game. And we're going to carry on. Day 1, July 15th. City Hall confirms rumours of Jack Boy's resignation. Mayor Rogers sex maniac. Why not? Mark II War to be shown in Freiburg, which I take it is where we are, the day before the worldwide premiere by the Mayor's personal request.
When I was a kid, my father sometimes told me at bedtime that if I closed my eyes and didn't open them for a long time, all the demons would blow away. Yesterday I turned 60, but I still take his advice. Not because I'm sentimental or want to keep the memory of my father alive. I just can't think of a better solution. To get away from all the demons that haunt Freiburg, I'd need to wear a blindfold 24/7. Plus, it's a good idea to act blind when talking to reporters. At least that's what my colleagues say. They're afraid of press conferences. But for me, it's more like a confessional. No matter what lies you tell, you're privately thinking the honest answers. It helps me remember who I am. The fact that I'll be reading all about it in the papers tomorrow is a small price to pay. Call it penance for the preacher. This is the first time I'm afraid of those answers my mind has given me. Not because I'm mad I'm losing my job. Though it's true, I'm mad as hell. Not because I subconsciously blame everyone else. Though I damn sure do blame them. And don't even ask me what my next move is. I can't imagine. But even that doesn't scare me. The worst thing is, I know I'm gonna have to do something. I'll be damned if I know how far I'll go. I may have a lot of vices, but predictability isn't one of them. I learned a long time ago how to drive away the swarming demons. But what do you do when they're trying to rip your soul from your skin? Shutting my eyes tight as I can. The best solution remains the same. Play blind. I just hope the reporters think I was blinded by the camera flash.
Okay. Good morning. Yesterday, the mayor's office officially announced her resignation. Did this come as a surprise, or did you know about it in advance? Let's go with the mayor discussed it with me. Mayor Rogers told me that he wants a fresh face running Freeburg PD. So no, it didn't come as a surprise. Do you already know the name of your successor? I think it will be part of the department. It will most likely be one of the current employees. After the recent corruption scandal, your deputy, Francis Kendrick, said he was looking forward to resigning. If the mayor offered him your position, would that change your mind? I'd be happy. It's hard to say, but I can't think of a more deserving candidate than Captain Kendrick. Although Kendrick was acquitted, many still believe that the police are cooperating with the mafia. Do you have anything to say about that? No comment. Unfortunately, I prefer not to answer all your questions, but in this situation, I've got to say no comment. Do you think your personal relationship with the mayor could be the reason behind your retirement? Definitely not. That's just not possible for Mayor Rogers. That's wrong. That's just not possible. Mayor Rogers is a true professional, and there's no if there. And he makes his decision carefully. There's no place in our job for hard. What? Oh, there is no place. I really cannot read today. There is no place in our jobs for hard feelings. Thank you. I can't believe I butchered that. I do apologise.
How's the back today, Mr. Boyd?
Same as usual.
How did the press conference go?
You can read about it in the newspapers tomorrow. Don't let anyone in.
Even Mr. Kendrick?
Especially Mr. Kendrick.
Now let's get some painkillers. Okay, a little bit many. Too many painkillers, that's 3. And a nice cigar.
As soon as I heard the door creak, I knew what face I'd see. When I tell Emma not to let anyone in, there's only one man it could be. Rude, arrogant, no warning, That's Mayor Rogers in a nutshell. White summer shoes, white socks, white shorts, white polo shirt, and the white smile of a hungry shark. Mayor Rogers enters every room like he owns the place. Even the floorboards under his feet sound like they're creaking an apology. He never shied away from the odd corruption scheme. It's like the devil walks behind him. In the movies, the villains controlling the city play golf with the judges. Rogers plays tennis with them instead. That's about the only difference.
Jack, I was hoping to catch you after the press conference. You ran away so quick.
There's no smoking at City Hall. No reason for me to hang around.
Well, this morning I signed a ban on smoking in all public buildings. Soon you won't be able to smoke here either.
Soon enough, I won't be here at all.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. The people of this city like you, Jack. The police chief of all people. Don't betray that, Jack. Don't get wrapped up in any schemes. Sit nice and quiet for the next 180 days, and you'll be remembered as a hero. That's the only thing that you still have left. Be the hero.
Then how am I supposed to scrape together a retirement fund?
You had a million chances to secure a luxury pension, one that even I would have envied, although I've never set aside any money for myself. I'm not planning to retire anytime soon. "180 days of quiet, Jack. That's all I need. I don't have any problems with you, and you won't have any problems with me. I have a new assistant, Troy Starr. If you have something to tell me, call him. But try not to bother him. He's a busy man."
I'll do my best.
"And quit smoking up the office. One of my friends will be using it soon."
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Only the mayor has this number. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, is this Troy Starr?
Yes?
Go fuck yourself, Troy Starr.
Day 2. 16th of July. Civil servants' wages won't be raised this year. Head of the culture department owns a villa in Italy. Cleanliness of the city streets increased by 20%. Not bad. Except for the 2 coffee stains.
Cops don't use the police station cafeteria anymore. There's some kind of stigma against sitting shoulder to shoulder with your partners. Everybody just takes snacks from the machines or grabs a meal and hammers it down in the corner like a vulture on a corpse. The main thing? Don't look into anyone's eyes. Could be construed as an invitation to sit together. The only people eating here are ghosts. My deputy, Francis Kendrick. He recently became one of those ghosts. The subject of one of the most devastating corruption scandals in the history of Freeburg. No evidence to support the accusations, but everyone knows Kendrick's days are numbered. I need that file I asked for. Needs to be ready tonight. Francis didn't say anything, but I understood. Ghosts aren't supposed to talk. Besides, I got a feeling he was already finished.
Would you like to receive tips about how the game works? Show me what you got. I'm 60-year-old police chief, few months away from retirement. I don't need anyone telling me how to do it. Let's check them. Freebo PD organises upcoming work assignments into shifts for today and tomorrow. Every shift, officers respond to crimes in progress. No, I really can't speak. And detectives continue their investigations. You can freely move employees between shifts. All officers and detectives possess several important characteristics. Professionalism shows the overall efficiency level of your policeman, and figure around 150 is considered average. Any policeman who falls short of the mark is not entirely reliable, while those whose professionalism is considerably higher than average are a safe bet. Even in a pinch, an individual's level of professionalism may rise and fall over the course of their career, obviously. Energy shows how tired the policemen are. The less energy your people have, the less reliable their work. And policemen who is exhausted might fall asleep at the wheel or make a critical error on the job. Your employees lose 1 point of energy after each working day and restore each point after each day of rest. Your employees don't tell you everything. Some additional characteristics are hidden from view. For some instance, some cops are lazy and will come up with a reason they can think of to take a day off, while others like to drink too much. You can only guess about these things. But you should be able to draw your own conclusion based on the behavior of your employees. So we have an old lady. So these are going to be detectives. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 police. Responding to calls is the bread and butter of police work. You'll need to send your officers to crime scenes before the timer expires. A mark on the map shows you where the call comes from. The further away the destination is from the police station, the longer it takes your officers to travel back and forth. So the longer your people will be tied up and unavailable for upcoming work.
110B in progress.
Everyday mom. The easiest way to determine how difficult a task might be is to check how many units you are allowed to send on a call. The more units you can send, the more serious the alleged threat. Particularly at risk missions give you an opportunity to send SWAT, but they must be accompanied by at least one officer. The number of slots is not the only thing to consider. Any available information from the location of the crime scene to the presence of weapons and so on. All of this can tell you how seriously each case should be taken. A mission might look simple at first glance until it turns out into a brutal meat grinder, or a serious call can come in which turns out to be a false alarm. So we've got hit and run. So let's send you and you. So that was like very well.
311A in progress.
The last picture shows a fight. Let's go you and you. So we said a good one and a only not so good one. So the not so good ones can obviously raise up the stats. When everything goes well, the police capture the criminal and nobody dies. But the truth is, sometimes the criminal manages to escape. Just try to avoid any dead cops and civilians. Dead cops will hurt your roster, and dead civilians bother the mayor even more than the living ones. Offender court. Officers unharmed. Okay, they're on their way back now.
311A complete.
The fight. Offender court. Officers unharmed. Civilians unharmed. That's a good thing. Okay, we've got 2,400. Suburb. Armed robbery. Send you and you. And we have one here. We have a fight. Send you and you again. We have one officer left. 3 officers. It must be the suburb.
412A in progress.
The ghetto. Oh, okay, I got 3. It must be the ghetto over here.
Looks like we have a situation here.
Okay, armed robbery. When your cops aren't sure how to proceed, they might contact you and ask you to handle the situation. Try to deal with whatever comes up, but don't waste all of your time on stuff. You have plenty of other problems on your plate. The vehicle in question is parked right outside the Browns' residence. The sound of moaning and laughter can be heard. Within the window. Sneak into the house through an open window. Turn on the siren loudspeaker and shout that the house is surrounded. Knock on the door, open up police. Let's go that one.
910.
Offender caught, officers unharmed.
311A complete.
The fight. Officers caught, officers unharmed. Assault report. Officers caught. Offender caught, officers unharmed. So we have 4 back now. Let's wait for these to get back. And done. End of the day. If you think you need a couple of extra hands tomorrow, you can order any of the cops to come in and work overtime. But if they're working flat out, they might be more exhausted. Somebody's bound to make a mistake. How is he? No, that's good.
Used to be when I asked Kendrick to stay late at the office, he liked to grumble and crack wise. Nowadays, he doesn't have the strength for it. Slumped shoulders, blank stare, wrinkled skin. The past few weeks, I don't hardly recognize my old friend. In his younger years, he reminded me of a gallant royal officer in an old Kipling story. Kendrick isn't just crumbling under the weight of the public pressure, but from the shame of it all. Internal Affairs raided the library he inherited from his grandfather, hoping they'd find buckets of cash stashed in the pages. Heard about the look on his face, the fearless policeman standing helpless in horror. I've known Francis for 30 years. The past 20 years he's played loose with the law. And I know that at a certain point every stolen dollar brings more misery than anything else. Probably sounds crazy, but I sympathize with the guy. What can I do? Your friends are your friends, and these are the waters we swim in.
Called all of the people on that list today. Now they know you're in business, so you could get a call from any of them. You don't need to worry about any of them. I've cleared them all.
And what kind of business are we talking here?
It's nothing too serious, just like you asked. Should be just a few small favors. Payments will vary depending on the situation and who you're dealing with. How much are you looking to earn?
$500,000.
$500,000? Why not a whole million?
Because everybody wants to take $1 million. Figured I'd try something different.
$500,000 in 180 days? Well, you could earn it all above board if you netted all the big fish and hit all your bonuses.
Never knew you for a fisherman.
Well, you never got into my business, and I'm not trying to get into yours. But be careful about bringing in any other cops. Sooner or later, they'll put the finger on you. And one more thing, Jack. I remember what you said, but I should probably add one more name to that list. Christopher Sand.
Sand. Christopher G. Sand. Everyone knows the name, but few could tell you who he is. The old man stays away from the spotlight. Always wears old-fashioned jeans and knitted sweaters. Gives to charity. Rarely attends social events. An avid hunter, I hear. Even dabbles in poetry. You'd never guess he's the head of the oldest and most powerful gang in the city. Goes back as far as his great-grandfather. And Sand is strict about following the old rules. He rarely involves himself in commonplace murders and robberies. Hardly needs to intimidate anyone to get his point across. The people who work for him each have their sphere. They provide protection where needed, even work with the authorities when they want to make a deal. Meanwhile, Sand pulls the strings without getting his hands dirty. People sometimes mistake his quiet approach. A couple years ago, an arms dealer decided to expand its business without asking permission, and his whole family paid the price. In 4 weeks, Sand killed 31 people. Old men, women, even a few teenagers. And Sand's people made sure every paper reported it. Frank, I don't want to hear you say that name again.
Jack, please, listen to me. I'm in with these guys.
We agreed, Frank. That's not the kind of business I'm into. I don't go there. Never have, never will.
But the only thing is, if you want to make $500,000, you're going to have to. Construction of cinema museum postponed again. Francis Kendrick announces retirement day. Legendary singer Gennaro Crespo comes to Freeburg. When a police officer is too tired to be effective, he will ask for a day off. Sometimes officers will request those even if they're at full strength. Some of the reasons you hear are far-fetched, while some are very serious. Don't overindulge your subordinates, but don't antagonize them either. Remember that everybody's got secrets, and you've got to make sure these guys have your back. My dog died yesterday, and I'm just terribly depressed. Can I go home? Well, you are an old lady. Let's say yes. In addition to their performance rating, police officers also possess rank. Employees begin at the lowest rank and can be elevated in rank with 1, 2, or 3 stripes once a week. You can pass out stripes and improve the rank of any employee if you think that no one is worthy of the honor some week. That really makes no sense. You can postpone the ceremony until later, and singers won't go out until your people are ready. Employees of rank not only increase in professionalism, but also learn to command. Whenever a ranking officer is on the scene, his or her colleagues are more likely to perform better than usual. Sometimes when the cop gets ranked, they start thinking more seriously about their service. This can mean less drinking and more time spent on the job. Some might even turn out to be dependable. Alright, so let's go you and you. So that means I can up yous then. Okay, I have 2 on this side. I have one old guy, old, maybe old. I'll do that, guys. Got glasses. Excuse me. Freeburg isn't one of those cities where you listen to what they say. Oh. It isn't one of those cities where you listen to what they say or nothing at all. You can always select a song from your collection and play it at any time. Just like in real life. Well, the life of your grandfather. Let's go this one. It's a saxophone. Let's learn how to hire and fire cops. Affairs, police station, labour market. If you have a certain number of paid jobs openings for which you can hire any available applicant, job slots are separated between officers and detectives. So you're detective, see officer, detective, that's not bad. So we technically want this one. Actually, I need to find out. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I'll go shift A. Oh, personnel. You want to free up a slot. Time to fire somebody. If you have legal grounds for the termination, no one will ask any questions. You might need to fire them anyway. Legality be damned, but that could land you in additional proceedings, and your other staff will become more worried about keeping their jobs than they were about actually doing their jobs. Other way is to free up a slot is the police officer killed. But that's not really a valid option, right? No. Alright, so I could fire this one. Fire legally, didn't come to work, came to work drunk or too old. Fire him for being too old. But I have nothing. See, he's not old. He is coming to work drunk. So he's too old, but I don't want to fire him. Sorry, Roy. Obviously you're too old, you've only got 5-star. Yeah, vandalism. So let's go you and you. No, that's not one. You and you proceed. Let's go police station. Right, so we have a 120. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got someone for there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3. So this one's got 3 detectives. This one's only got 2 detectives. So I could. So who? So Shift A needs another detective. Shift A. What's this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no, just leave that.
211 in progress.
Okay, you have 3. Let's go you, and you. Vandalism report. Offender caught, officers unharmed.
1210 in progress.
Suspicious individual. Let's send both of you.
211.
Vandalism report. Caught and unharmed. And we have 2 people back.
1210 complete.
When there's a mistake, a retired officer threatened an area for a fugitive in question. False alarm. Mr. Boyd, my bouncer stuffed himself with Mexican food again, and now he can't get off the can. Meantime, the line outside the club is stretching around the block. We need someone outside who could tell the cool guys from the punks. Let's send that one. So now we have pretty much all of them back bar Grant.
1111 in progress.
2 officers, drug sale, so send him and that one.
in progress.
Sorry, Chief, but I quit. In one night, I poured in more cash than I earned in a month working at this dump. Mr. Sawkins said he wouldn't mind taking me on, so I guess I just wasn't cut out to be a cop. Right, so that's Grant gone. So, this is Shift A. And I'll take 4.5 grand. So I need him for Shift A. Suicide threat. You and you. Technically, it's the end of shift.
Looks like we have a situation.
As police arrived, a clown is seen making balloon animals for kids. Take the clown onto the ice and round up any witnesses. Cover up in a raincoat and pretend to be illicit customer. Carefully watch the clown from the stands. Oh, Jesus. Offender caught and officers unharmed. Yay! So we've lost Grant. Suicide threat. Caught, unharmed. We can end the day. So this is Shift A. So these will be going to sleep. And I get new ones. Feminist organisation denied official registration. Robespierre to reveal his identity when the time is right. Enemies using feminists to destroy Freeburg.
Whenever I'm alone at home and there's a knock at the door, I always hope it'll be my wife, Laura. She's always forgetting her keys.
Hello, my name is Steve, and you're Jack Boyd, is that right?
To get to my front door, the Bible boys walked about a mile from the local bus stop, jumping over mud puddles and skirting a couple of landfills. Laura doesn't go in for religion either, but according to her, these brave lunatics with their fake smiles deserve at least a minute of attention. She patiently listens to them, asks them questions, regales them with pastries, and never once dropping a hint of condescension. When I watch her do it, I've got to admit it gets me. I'd have hugged those boys, sat with them on the porch and lit up a cigar. But a month after Laura left, all I could do was quietly ask them not to bother me. Today I'm a little rougher still. Shut the door in his nose this time. Another couple weeks at this rate and I'll be greeting anyone who comes close with my service pistol pointed towards the sky, ready to fire my warning shots. In my life, even the basic stuff never goes like it's supposed to. Normally, when a wife is going to leave home, she'll make a scene, or at least sit everyone down for a serious conversation. But Laura just disappeared. The children in the stories always stand on the side of the mother, but all three of our sons supported me. The in-laws always blame the husband for making their daughter unhappy. But now Sally, Laura's mother, well, we sort of have a pact. The fellow Laura ran off with is young enough to be her son. I hear he's 30 years old. Of all the possible information a man can know about his wife's lover, I get hit with that. Fortunately, Laura's mother doesn't like the way it sounds either. Sally figures this guy just thought he'd have some fun with a mature woman, but he'll be back chasing college girls before the year is out. So we have an agreement. Sally's gonna track down Laura and try to reason with her, and we'll arrange a meeting. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to not do anything stupid, which of course means anything at all. It's a crazy situation. I'm the police chief, and the person I'm trusting to find my wife is an old woman armed with a phone book. But I can't afford to lose Sally as an ally. So for the moment, I had to swallow my pride.
Hello.
Mrs. Markham, this is Boyd.
Oh, is there any news?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Have you found anything? An address, phone number? Have you spoken to her?
Don't worry, Jack. I've narrowed the range to 2 suspects, or whatever you like to say at your police building.
At my police building, we find people faster than a funny old woman chirping on the phone with my wife's girlfriends.
Oh, you're an old man, Jack. Come to your senses. They'd give us straight odds on the street. But I've got more energy, Jack. Maybe you think I'm a foolish old woman, but I go to my book club, argue with the girls about Byron, and it gives me energy. I talk to my dogs, and it gives me energy. And you have nothing, Jack. You don't even have a hobby. You got no passion. It's why Laura left you.
Let's not go back into that, Sally. Find my wife, and we can discuss my hobbies later. I'm waiting for your call, and my patience is running thin. Laura, if you've stopped loving me, I'll let you go. I can't expect the impossible from you. Just don't let me die out here, okay?
And off to work we go. I've got some terrible heartburn this morning. Might be better if I go home and lie down. No. My son was in a car accident. The doctors are fighting for his life. I just can't manage to work today. Can I have the day off? Yes. Damn, not actually a decent person. Let's go with this one. Very cheaper. No, 2 officers. You and you. If someone commits a serious crime and flees the scene, the case goes to the detectives. Okay. They investigate the crime scenes, interview witnesses, and gather whatever information seems pertinent. One of your detectives will be lead investigator of the case. You can assign additional detectives to any case, who will work under the lead investigator as subordinates. The more professional the lead investigator, the more effective the team. So let's go that one, and that one. Just for fun. Right, City Hall, fire all black cops. Nice, cheers. A racist gang has recently made some trouble in the city. They're capturing black townspeople and beating them to death. They recently sent a message to the local radio station promising to kill all the black doctors, firemen and police. If we don't need any more dead police, especially not mere months before the election. The racists are gaining more and more followers, and even some of our citizens support them. You have to fire all your black employees, all, over the next 2 days due to racial tensions. 1, 2, 3. See, I can do it because he's old. It's possibly. Oh, that's great, that is. Which one did I just lose? Shift A. A. See, I don't know if that's what you class as black. Was that Latino? You're gonna have to get an A. You're gonna have to get an A. Can't hire you. I don't know if that's classed as black either. Oh, I got a carjacking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Destruction of property, caught and unharmed. Investigation has started. Detectives have interviewed witnesses, collected evidence from the scene, and are pursuing the investigation. Expect results. Mr. Graham. Eric Graham, a drunk witness. They drove by in a sedan and they shot like a machine gun. I didn't see much. I only heard a few muffled shots. The neighbour. Another neighbour. He got what he deserved. He's been causing trouble for a long time, and recently there's been a lot of cursing and carrying on. Makes no sense. A witness. I don't remember the car, and the neighbourhood was quiet. I never heard any shots. The police these days don't do anything. I almost died. I went to buy some medicine and I was nearly hit by some idiot driver. Okay. So I gotta wait for some more stuff to come up before I can do anything. So I have 2 that are coming back and 4 that are going out.
1210 in progress. We've got a situation here.
Wait a safe distance for the driver to appear. Search the car. Interview any potential eyewitnesses. Let's go that one.
113 complete.
And he was caught, so he's unharmed. That's okay, because I've only got 2. Suspicious individual.
Complete.
caught unharmed. Mr. Boyd, I'm opening Freebags First Martial Arts Club, and for my first exhibition I want to hold a sparring match where one of my students takes on your toughest cop. After the fight, I'll teach your man a few tricks, something that might help him out in the streets. Okay. Let's wait for this person to come back. Oh, this one. See, that one's already back. Put that one there. Homicide report. Your detectives present frames, different versions of what they might have happened at the crime scene. Open investigations. They get it wrong half the time, but a good cop can separate fact from fiction if they know how to look at the case materials. The more professional the detective working on the investigation, the better their instincts. To get to your suspect, you'll need to figure out the true sequence of events at the crime scene using frames you think likely, sometimes with a little guesswork thrown in. If you add it all up but the sequence fails, you're probably telling the wrong story. So someone said muffled shot, so that's a silencer. No. Oh, there you go. When an investigation pans out, you'll have yourself a suspect. Sometimes there's more than one, but in this case your detectives have narrowed it down to one single candidate. Travis Horton, a known racist who already has several previous convictions. Your detectives have information on the whereabouts of the suspect. Sometimes there might be a number of locations to choose from. To carry out the arrest, two officers must escort the lead detective to apprehend the suspect. If the lead investigator is not on duty, the arrest will have to wait, but remember that fugitive won't sit patiently until your schedule clears. Also remember that criminals will react in different ways. A frightened thief is likely to surrender as soon as the game is up. A brutal killer might want to see just how many he can take with him. With more dangerous criminals, it's safer to send experienced officers and even SWAT if you see fit. Let's go you and you.
311A in progress.
Kevin's throat bar. Let's go because I've only got 3 officers left.
311A in
I
progress.
don't have that. I don't. Yeah. See, I can't send SWAT to that one. So that one's
311A complete.
Chief, I've just nailed. Well, damn. You jumped up, didn't you? Chief, I just about nailed the Jap a couple of times, but he was too fast for me and won on points. I don't really understand their rules, so I can't keep track of points very well. But he was alright, even showing me a few tricks after the match. I got carried away and pulled my back. I think I can take a day off. Fight. Offender escapes. That's okay. It's offender escape, that's
Looks like we
fine.
have a situation here.
On the stage are 2 strippers going at it, and it's gone beyond arguing to a full-on catfight. The bouncer is fast asleep. Go figure. Clearly too wasted to handle the situation. The drunken patrons are happy to watch the fight. Shut off the music, turn up the lights. Listen, girls, cut the crap out and get serious. Draw your service weapon. Listen, girls, cut the crap. The strippers continue fighting, oblivious to the police presence. Ask the bartender for a cold bucket of water and throw it on the combatants. Step onto the stage, try to separate the girls. Watch the strippers go at it, don't interfere. Cold water, why not?
311A complete.
Ah, they escaped. Oh, unharmed. was caught. Yay. End of the day. Right, well, I'm going to leave it here. But obviously, no civilians were killed, but we have had 2 escape. 1, obviously, I didn't have the officers for, and 2 was obviously the stripper joint. But hey ho, stuff happens. But thank you all for watching. We will carry this on in the next episode. Please hit the like button or give us a thumbs up for this video. Any comments will be appreciated. Please hit the subscribe button so you know when my content comes out. Don't forget to click the bell and click on all notifications so you know when the content comes out. And I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.